Hello and welcome to Odds on Bundesliga Matchday 9. My name is Danail and I'm honored to be host on Bundesliga together with our football and betting expert Radek Vegas. Stay tuned to learn what tips and prediction has Radek prepared for you, and I'm sure you'll be able to find value in a lot of them. Please like this video, hit on the notification bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel to help us grow so we can keep delivering great content for you. Leave your comment below and let us know what are your predictions for Bundesliga Matchday 9. So now, let's get on with the show. Hello Radek, how are you today?
Hey. Hello, yeah, there were some interesting games last game day, and we keep on going now in the tough part of the season because it's getting into the cold time, and that's always a point where we can see some surprisings.
Yeah, of course, and also we saw some upsets in the previous match day 8 that nobody expected, but we will mention them in a moment. So let's kick off with the Friday game, Mainz versus Augsburg. This is a very important clash for both teams because Mainz are currently 11th in the table with 10 points, while Augsburg are already in the relegation zone with just 6 earned from the first 8 rounds. 3 consecutive defeats for Mainz, but in this round, they have the upper hand because they're taking home Augsburg, and Augsburg are actually winless on the road and lack the opportunity to score goals. What do you think will happen here?
Yeah, Mainz should be the better team here, depending on their first games in the season, but as you mentioned, 3 games in a row they didn't win and they lost, but they had tough opponents like Borussia Dortmund and Leverkusen, where Augsburg wouldn't have won either, and that's why they should win against this very struggling Augsburg side. On the other hand, I don't like the odds of 1.8 on Mainz. That's ridiculous low. For a team who's always into fighting for holding the league, and no matter how good they play in some games, at the end of the day they're fighting to stay in the league for every year for the last 11 years. Maybe there were some exceptions with Thomas Tuchel as coach, but no one expected Mainz to really compete with higher rankings, and that's why I don't trust these odds, and I won't bet on odds lower than 2 on a team like Mainz, and that's why I think there is even more value on Augsburg, but I wouldn't bet on a weak team like Augsburg in this game there as well.
I see where you're going here, maybe a draw?
Yeah, sure, it's always possible, but on the last 2 game days I predicted a lot of draws and they have been none, and that's kind of weird because statistically impossible, and you have about 30% draws in Bundesliga for every year, and so they will come sooner or later, maybe even in this game, but if I predict the result, I would say Mainz is winning 2-0, 2-1, but too dangerous to bet on them.
Maybe our audience could look at alternative markets such as goals or even corners. Who knows? The first game on Saturday...
under goals maybe.
Yeah. The first game on Saturday, Arminia Bielefeld versus Dortmund. The fans of Arminia are definitely disappointed with the performance so far, since the team is yet to win in 8 rounds this season. They have lost 3 and drawn 5. Meanwhile, Dortmund is breathing down the neck of Bayern, just 1 point adrift the top. We saw them losing in the Champions League with 4-0 to Ajax, which for me was quite an upset. I thought it's going to be a closer game, but they definitely need to bounce back now. They're back to the Bundesliga. Once again, all eyes will be on the main man, Haaland, who is the top scorer of the Bundesliga with 9 goals and 3 assists in just 6 games. What a talent, this guy.
Yeah, and all his games in the Bundesliga, he made about 68 games in 2 or 3 years now and scored 70 goals. And this more goals than games, that is brilliant. No one ever in the Bundesliga achieved this before, beside
He's only 20 years old.
Gerd Müller did it, more goals than games, but no one else, not even Lewandowski, has more goals than games. So yeah, Haaland for sure is big luck for Borussia Dortmund, and the only reason why they are so close to Bayern Munich after losing against Freiburg in this season and another loss. And but at home, Borussia Dortmund won all 5 games and they're scoring a lot of goals at home. And Arminia Bielefeld is really no challenge for them. And I also was very disappointed about the Champions League game against Ajax, and I thought Borussia Dortmund has the potential to beat them, and at the end they fall back to old routines where they show that on a bad day they are not worth a lot. And so yeah, but on this game day against Bielefeld they have to win for sure. The problem is the odds of 1.36. You lose more than you win with this bets on low odd favorites. And the only option I see here is to combine Borussia Dortmund win with another small odd to get a double bet with some potential with a odd around 2, but betting only on win here with 1.3 is too bad. And also betting on Asian handicap with -1 or -1.5 from Borussia Dortmund gives us really bad odds for this risk, and I don't like this game, and you can't win a lot here, so let's skip ahead.
Maybe it's a good game to bet on Dortmund if you want to combine it with another bet for your aka, like a bunker bet. But speaking of bunker bets, Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim. Here it seems like nothing can really stand on the way of the leaders. The Bavarians are collecting point after point, win after win, and score plenty of goals. 29 already, and only 8 conceded. And in the previous match day, they trashed Leverkusen with 5-0. Crazy, really. And Hoffenheim, meanwhile, I think that was the biggest upset of the match day 8 when they won with 5-0 against Cologne. And I think we expected a draw rather, and certainly not that many goals in this game. But here they're definitely going to be in trouble, Hoffenheim, because Lewandowski and Gnabry, they just can't be stopped right now, and I don't think they can cope at the back. So
yeah.
The question is how many goals here?
Yeah, last game we saw 5 goals between them. The last 2 games, because Bayern Munich was winning 4-1 last game, but the pre-last game Hoffenheim won 4-1. So obviously Hoffenheim likes to play against Bayern. Sometimes they have chances, but then they get thrashed 6-0 in February 2020. Yeah, and they are kind of unpredictable, as you mentioned. They lost against Augsburg. They lost against Stuttgart 2 game days ago, when nobody expected them to lose, because they won against Wolfsburg, a better team, and then they thrashed Cologne. And so yeah, everything can happen with Hoffenheim, kind of. To say Bayern Munich will win this game, that is no really prediction, because that seems to be a sure bet, and that's why we don't get any money for this. Only odds of 1.2. For sure, yeah, you might combine this with Borussia Dortmund, but that's the way you lose money in the long run, because no favorite wins all games, as we've seen between Bayern Munich and Frankfurt. And maybe it's worth a shot on Hoffenheim, keep it close after Bayern Munich is playing Champions League at Lissabon. This week they might be a really bit tired and rotate their squad. Anyway, they have enough potential in the second row to beat every team in the Bundesliga. But we see Asian handicap plus 2.5 on Hoffenheim, gives us odds of 1.86. Means if Hoffenheim loses the game with 2 goals behind, we win with 1.86. And I think that is an option because Hoffenheim is really kind of dangerous in some games. But as you ask how many goals there will be, that is the same thing that the bookmakers can also view the last games between these teams, and so we really get really bad odds on over 4 goals or over 4.5 goals. We get 2.17. That is really bad. And in this game, when everyone expects that there will be a lot of goals, I would bet against the main crowd and the people who think there will be a lot of goals, because everyone knows that there will be a lot of goals. Everyone is betting on it, and if everyone would win, then we would have no bookmakers anymore, because they always win at the end, and that's why it's not a really good thing to run with the low odds and to run with the mass, and that's why betting on under 4.5 goals is an option here. But anyway, if it's too dangerous, don't bet at all. It's not about betting on every game, it's about betting on 1 or 2 games each game day, and always picking out the diamonds and not the rubbish. And so yeah.
What I've noticed from Bayern, when they're a huge favorite at home, we witness many corners for the opposition, because they normally tend to control the ball and have many situations. So maybe for you the viewers here, you can find some value in the corners. I'm not sure what's the line there, but probably 9-10 corners could be easily outdone here. Moving on to Leipzig and 𝐻𝐸 Fürth. The last round, Leipzig were unable to break the undefeated record of Freiburg, and they definitely need the 3 points here, because the team of 𝐻𝐸 Fürth, they're actually the very worst team, with only one point collected thus far and 6 consecutive defeats. So I don't really see any hope for the visitors here, and the odds also suggest that way.
Yeah, 1.15 on Leipzig. Nothing to win here again. We have a lot of favorites against underdogs, and no value to bet on a team like Fürth, and also no value to bet on a maybe struggling side like Leipzig. A good appearance against Paris. They led 2-1 against Paris, and Messi just made the 3-2 with a penalty, so that's not a bad result for Leipzig. And on the other hand, they might win, but betting on them is also not worth the money, because if you lose such a favorite bet one day, you have to win 5 other favorite bets with odds of 1.2 to break even or to make a little profit, and that's almost impossible. That's why no one who bets on favorites will ever make profit at the long run. So hands off of Leipzig, hands off of Bayern, hands off of Dortmund. They might win on this game day, but they will lose one game day again, and then we all really punched by the bookies again, and that's why no value on this game as well.
What is your opinion on the corners market? Do you enjoy having a bet there, or you prefer it?
Yeah, depends on, because you have to know the style of both teams very well. You have to know the stats of every team very well about corners, and if you are into it and you are able to compare it with odds and recognize what are good odds, corners are definitely a point to look at, because you find more value in these side markets where not a lot of people are going to, like also cards. For my personal thing, I was betting huge on corners at the World Cup 2018, and that was kind of successful, but in the Bundesliga I never did, so maybe because Bundesliga is kind of unpredictable, and World Cup seems to be easier. But yeah, if it always depends on how is your strategy, because just thinking that Bayern Munich is maybe at home, allowing the guests having a lot of corner kicks, I'm not really sure about that. And so yeah, you have to collect your stats and information. So
definitely, this is very interesting alternative market, and for everyone who is interested, you can go and check our knowledge section where we have analyzed corner bets. So moving on to Wolfsburg and Freiburg, where Wolfsburg are currently sitting 6th in the standing, but they've been dropping too many points lately, unable to win in 4 consecutive matches. After the 2-0 defeat to Union Berlin in the last match day, now it's crucial for them to find the right path to victory, in my opinion. Meanwhile, Freiburg remains unbeaten after 8 rounds, something that I don't think many pundits expected, not from this team. And are actually, like I said, the only undefeated team still going strong. In the previous match day, they made a draw against Leipzig, where Leipzig were actually somewhat the favorite, but the game was so excited, you didn't know what is going to happen until the last moment. So many shots, so many corners, I think 13 corners and 5 yellow cards for Leipzig. They collected all of the yellow cards. So again, once again, if we don't find another value in the regular markets, maybe yellow cards, corners is something to look at.
No, that's interesting game, because Wolfsburg also is playing in the Champions League against Salzburg. A really important game for them, because they draw the first 2 games and they have to win against Salzburg, but that's not very easy. No matter how this game ends, we don't know yet, because it's today evening when we record this video. And that at one point can be Wolfsburg has only Thursday and Friday to rest, go back to Wolfsburg, and playing against a team who's freaking hot like Freiburg, and that can be another hard not winning game for Wolfsburg after 3 defeats in a row. They are favorite in this game, because if you just watch the quality and the value of the players, for sure Wolfsburg is way bigger than Freiburg. And on the other hand, Freiburg isn't caring about, and they collected points against Dortmund and Freiburg and Leipzig now, and they are also able to surprise at Wolfsburg. So if we have 2 options: betting on the trend, that means we find a lot of value on the Asian handicap 0 on Freiburg, or maybe double chance on Freiburg, we get odds around 2. But Bundesliga is rarely a trend following strategy, because it's always up and down for every team. And after 8 not losing games in a row, no one expected Freiburg not losing 8 games in a row. I think it's time now for them that they lost, so we bet against the trend and we get really brilliant odds on a Champions League contender like Wolfsburg with 2.16. at max, or 2.1 on almost every bookie if you compare on Oddspedia. So yeah, home game Wolfsburg, Champions League team Wolfsburg. After 3 defeats, it's time for going up for Wolfsburg, and after 8 not winning games for Freiburg, it's time to go down for Freiburg. And for sure it's a danger that there might be a Freiburg surprise. So you have to decide. Both bets are possible. So Asian handicap plus 0.5 means double chance on Freiburg, or betting on win of Wolfsburg. So I go with Wolfsburg because of the points I mentioned.
Definitely every series comes to an end eventually, so we might witness the first defeat of Freiburg on Matchday 9. Meanwhile, Hertha will welcome Mönchengladbach, and they will definitely be pleased after the win with 2-1 on the Matchday 8, where they broke the spell of 2 consecutive defeats. Now Hertha has another challenge against the 10th team in the Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach, who come after a 1-1 draw against Stuttgart. In the last 2 head-to-head meetings, very interesting, we saw draws, which is actually your preferred bet, and maybe yet another draw here.
Possible, but the games of these 2 teams last game day were 2 results I didn't expect at all, because Hertha is really not so good in this season, and that they win against Frankfurt, who recently beat Bayern Munich, seemed to be a bit surprising. And on the other hand, Gladbach, as you said, is a trend team. They only draw against Stuttgart, which is struggling in this season. And so both were kind of surprising at a positive or negative side. And it's hard to predict. I would say Gladbach, it was my first opinion that they win this game. We don't have to be really afraid of Hertha, because they won against a team like Frankfurt, maybe with some luck involved, and Frankfurt was not really playing good. At the end it was close that Frankfurt didn't came back and draw this game. So I think Gladbach has way more potential to beat Hertha than any. On the other hand, Hertha has to make a point, and I like the 2.0 on Gladbach on this in this game as well. And for sure it can be also a draw, but I'm not really afraid of Hertha.
Very, very interesting indeed. And next on Sunday we have Cologne and Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, excuse me. And it's very interesting because both teams took a beating with 5 goals, and I'm pretty sure they will want to avenge themselves. The hosts, like we mentioned already, are absolutely trashed by Hoffenheim with 5-0, and I'm sure no pundit ever put their money on this bet. So now the team needs to pick themselves up and improve, and they have a chance to go back to the European tournament in the standings if they win here. But Cologne actually one of the best home teams in the league so far. They're third with 3 wins and 1 draw, but they're facing Leverkusen side, who are the second best visitor with exactly the same record, 3 wins and 1 draw. Also, Bayern Leverkusen need to retaliate after the beating they took from Munich, and I expect goals, because also the last 3 head-to-head meetings suggest that the goals are a good bet here.
Yeah, the over 2.5 is the line we have to watch here, and you get 1.5 on this one. Maybe this is our combination bet with the Dortmund win. So we get odds of around 2.1 or 2.2 if we combine win of Borussia Dortmund with over 2.5 goals in this game. What seems to be, for sure an option. But I think it's a better bet to bet on a Leverkusen win here. Because we get really huge odds on a Champions League, maybe Champions League team like Leverkusen against a downside team like Cologne, which made a kind of overperformance in a lot of games. So the loss against Hoffenheim was not really a big surprise. It was only a surprise because Cologne overperformed before. But if we just watch at the last season where Cologne was so horrible and Hoffenheim with their squad is always on the edge of the international spots. But that's why I don't think Cologne can really make it close here against Leverkusen. And no matter how they lost against Bayern Munich, they only lost 2 games in this season against Bayern Munich and against Borussia Dortmund. And all other games Leverkusen played, they were the better team, and they won 5 games and only draw once. And so Leverkusen has to win this game, and I expected odds of 1.6 or 1.7. That we get odds of 2.14 here at NeoBet on Leverkusen. That is brilliant. Best bet on this game day in kind of value. Also means there is no 100% sure bet, and we also can lose this game if there is a draw or another surprise. So that is the thing in betting. You can't say I put a lot of money on this, but I put the same amount of money on every bet, and at the end this is a better bet because of we got a huge odd on a good team against a mediocre average team. And the only thing what can be a problem here is that Leverkusen is playing in the International Europe League, and maybe they are a little bit tired on Thursday, but I think they're playing at home and they have no long distance to travel to Cologne, so it's not a big away game. It's a kind of a derby because the teams are really rivals. And I saw Steffen Baumgart, the Cologne coach, watching the game of Leverkusen at Munich, against Munich at home, and he has to improve Cologne against Leverkusen, but I think we only have to play the odds, and that's why we're Oddspedia. We're playing only the odds and not the other things, what might happen. It's a good decision to bet on Leverkusen.
Great. I also agree that Leverkusen bet here is really well valued and unexpected, actually. So let's wait and see what happens. Next game is Stuttgart against Union Berlin. The home team are 12th right now in the standings, but they're actually struggling to find consistency after drawing against Mönchengladbach in the last round. And they actually mix a draw with a defeat and a win. A really unpredictable team right now. Meanwhile, on Union Berlin, they are 5th and very, very consistent with 3 consecutive wins against Wolfsburg, Mainz, and Arminia Bielefeld. Actually, all of these opponents, maybe except Wolfsburg, were subpar, sub teams, below the mid of the table teams. And I'm not sure what to expect in this game.
We have complete 2 different sides here. As you mentioned, Stuttgart, they only lost 1 of their last 5 games, I think, but they only won 1 of them. They are a draw team. On the other hand, Union Berlin only lost 1 game in this season, and that was against Borussia Dortmund, very close to 1. And that's why we compare this situation where we expect Union Berlin to be the better team with the odds, and we see Union Berlin is the underdog in odds. They get higher odds than Stuttgart, because Stuttgart is playing at home and was not that bad in the last games. So a draw won't be a big surprise. But as we get odds of 2.8 on Union Berlin, we can look at the double chance on Union Berlin, and we find odds of 1.58 on double chance. I don't like these, it's a bit too low. But if we bet on draw no bet, means if there is a draw we get our money back. Draw no bet also means Asian handicap 0 on Union Berlin, and we get odds around 2. And this is also a really good bet, as we have a team who is competing with the best teams, who is going to the international spots maybe a second year in a row. And on the other hand, we have a team like Stuttgart, which was surprising last year, but in this season I think they are not really that good like last year. They sold some important players. And that's why I love the Asian handicap 0 on Union Berlin here.
And the last fixture of Matchday 9 is Bochum taking home Eintracht Frankfurt. Bochum finally broke their negative spell of 5 consecutive winless games when they managed to win in the last round. And Eintracht, after upsetting Bayern in the I think it was Matchday 7, and taking the lead, the win with 2-1. They were expected to probably win against Hertha, but they took the L. So now we have a tough visit to Bochum. And what do you see in this game?
Anyway, Frankfurt seems to get better. Beating Bayern Munich was lucky for them, and losing against Hertha was bad luck for them. And against Bochum, they are, in my eyes, a huge favorite, because Bochum only won against a team like Fürth, who is also, beside Bochum, the worst team in the league. So Frankfurt has to win this game, and odds on Frankfurt with 2.2 or 2.5 are really, or 2.25 are really attractive. And this is also one of my favorite bets on this game day. And so yeah, we find a lot of value on the away teams on this game day, I think.
Perfect. We are now at the end of all the games. We've analyzed them, and it's time for your 𝐬𝐭𝐿. What do you have prepared for us?
Yeah, I like to combine draws, and I like to combine Asian handicap 0 games. On this game day, I step away from draws, because at the last 2 game days it was not really successful. But anyway, Asian handicap 0 also covers draws, that your 𝐬𝐭𝐿 is not broken if there is a draw. So I would combine Asian handicap 0 on Union Berlin, as I mentioned, because this is one of the best bets on this game day. I would put Asian handicap 0 on Bayer Leverkusen, because Leverkusen has a winning odd of 2.1 against Cologne, and the Asian handicap is around 1.5. So we can put this Asian handicap 0 also into this game, because it's very unlikely that Cologne will win this game, and so our 𝐬𝐭𝐿 won't be broken. And combine also a third bet on Asian handicap 0 on Frankfurt, because Frankfurt is also way better than Bochum, and they shouldn't lose against Bochum. And so we have these 3 Sunday games with Asian handicap 0, and all away teams won't lose, then we win.
Perfect. We have everything we needed from Matchday 9. Thank you for being amazing as always, and thank you for watching, you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and never miss a show when Radek is on. Bye see you soon.
Thank you, bye, see you next time.
Alright then, we have all games from Bundesliga Matchday 9 analyzed and predicted by Radek, which you are now able to see on your screen. If you enjoyed the show, please like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, go share with your friends, and make sure to stick around because we'll be back tomorrow with yet another great show. Check out the rest of our YouTube content and follow us on all social media channels. And remember, winning is not about never losing. Winning is about making more than you've lost. Stay on the right side of the money.